Good morning and aloha. Thank you very much for joining in our Jodo Buddhist Sunday service. Today is December 20th, Sunday, and we are going to start the service. Today, I'm going to talk about prayer beads called Juzu, or originally called Japamala. And the reason why I talked was very recently I had a question about Juzu beads, and also this was actually for me good rediscovery of the meaning of Juzu and the way of usage. And I think today's sermon may be interesting. So please stay with me. And page 3, Invocation. Amida Buddha, the awakened one, the compassionate one, we ask for your guidance on this happy day. Lead us from the numbness of routine and from all bitterness of heart to a peaceful place of compassion and wisdom. Grant us the strength and abiding consciousness to work together harmoniously in our temple and our community. Help us to always remember that life is one, and therefore that all living things coexist and are interconnected, and that your infinite light of compassion shines upon the hearts of everyone. Namu Amida. Page 5, Vandana Ti-Sarana, please. Shuka, Tsukikage, page 6.
No.
Page 8, Golden Chain. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends my happiness or misery. May every link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namu Amida Butsu. Page 9, Eightfold Path. The Buddha teaches us that we may become pure and holy by following the rules he laid down for us. Let us repeat them and also remember at all times what they mean. First, right understanding. Let us learn and try to understand the truth. Second, right purpose. Let us try always to do what is right. Third, right speech. Let us be truthful and kind in all we say. Fourth, right conduct. Let us try to behave ourselves at all times. Fifth, right livelihood. Let us earn our living in a way which will not harm anyone. Sixth, right endeavor. Let us constantly try to become better. Seventh, right thought. Let us cherish our thoughts because our words and our actions arise from our thoughts. Eighth, right meditation. Let us think often of Amida Buddha and repeat the sacred name Namu Amida Butsu. May the sacred presence of Amida, who said he would abide in his teaching, be our guide. May we follow his glorious example and tread with unfaltering step this noble path until we too shall attain enlightenment. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Page 14, Sanbujo, welcoming the Buddhas in 3 verses. We reverently call upon Amida Buddha, the world-honored one, to enter this sacred place. We reverently call upon Shakyamuni Tathagata, the enlightened one, to enter this sacred place. We reverently call upon the Tathagatas of the 10 directions to enter this sacred place. The harmful actions I have done in the past are all derived from my inherent greed, anger, and delusion. Born of my conduct, words, and thoughts, I now repent them all. Junen. Namu Ami Namu 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 Ami Namu Ami Namu Chu Namu Ami Namu. 무조 진진 미묘보 약세만 원한 속 나공개몬 또그주지 First profound and wondrous Dharma, even after 100,000 million aeons, is difficult to encounter. We now here receive and uphold it. May we understand the true message of the Tathagata. Shiseige. 仏説無量寿教四聖言が言長聖願The birth of the four vows. I have established the first vows and shall without fail reach the ultimate path. If these vows are not fulfilled, may I not attain perfect enlightenment. Should I for countless aeons not become a great benefactor and relieve all those in poverty and suffering, may I not attain perfect enlightenment. When I reach the path of the Buddha, my name shall resound beyond the 10 directions. Should there be a place in which it cannot be heard, may I not attain perfect enlightenment. Abandoning desire with profound right mindfulness and pure wisdom, I shall cultivate pure practice. I shall intently pursue the ultimate path to become a teacher of all celestial and human beings. Divine power radiates forth a great light that completely illuminates limitless lands. eliminates the darkness of the three defilements to lead all beings out of suffering, opening their eyes of wisdom to extinguish the darkness of ignorance, and obstructing the harmful path to provide passage to the gate of fortunate destiny. Fully endowed with all the virtues, the Buddha's majestic radiance shall shine brightly in the 10 directions, outshining the sun and the moon, and eclipsing the brilliance of the heavens. For the sake of all beings, a Buddha opens the Dharma storehouse and widely shares its treasures of virtue. Among all who have gathered, a Buddha always expounds the Dharma like a lion's roar, making offerings to all the Buddhas and becoming endowed with all roots of virtue. With the vows and wisdom perfected, a Buddha becomes a hero of 3 realms, like the unimpeded wisdom of a Buddha that reaches and shines upon all. I vow that the power of my virtue and wisdom will be equal to yours, most venerable one. If these vows are realized, may the whole universe tremble with joy, and from the sky all the celestial beings will rain down rare and wondrous flowers. Honzeige.
Mida Honzeigan Gokuraku Shiyomon Josan Toeko Sokusho Mushoshi.
Amida Buddha's original vows are the essential gate to the ultimate bliss. May this merit be transferred equally to enable us to immediately attain birth in the pure Junen.
Namu Amida Bu, 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 Namu Amida, Namu Amida Bu, Namu Amida Bu.
Page 54. Ichimai Kishomon.
慎み敬って拝読し立て祀る宗祖大師法然上人ご遺君一枚起請門もろこし我が町にもろもろの知者たちのさたしもさるる観念の念にもあらずまた学問をして念の心を悟りて申す念仏にもあらずただ往生極楽のためには南無阿弥陀仏と申して疑いなく往生するぞと思い取りて申す他には別の司祭そうらわずただし三人四種と申すことのそのは皆欠如して南無阿弥陀仏にて往生するぞと思ううちにこもり候なりこの他によく書きことを存ぜば二尊の哀れみに外れ本願に漏れ候べし念仏を親善人はたとえ一代の法よくよく学すとも一文口の不丼の身になして天入道の無知の友柄に同じして知者の振る舞いをせずしてただ一向に念仏すべし生のために良心をもってす浄土宗の安心企業この一子に至極せり元空が所存この他に全く別義を存ぜず滅後の邪義を防がんがために所存を印をあんぬ 元暦2年正月23日大師祭ご飯。
Page 52. Our founder, Master Honen's parting message, the One Sheet Testament. Many Buddhist masters and scholars in China and Japan have understood Nenbutsu as a contemplation of Amida Buddha and the Pure Land. However, I understand it differently. The restitution of the Nenbutsu does not come from studying and understanding its meaning. To be born in Amida Buddha's Pure Land, we need only to say Namu Amida Butsu and believe without a doubt that we will attain birth there. Resolutely reciting the Nenbutsu and believing in birth in the Pure Land naturally give rise to the three minds and the four modes of practices. Should I withhold any deeper wisdom beyond the Nenbutsu, may I then lose sight of compassion of Shakyamuni and Amida Buddha and slip through the embrace of Amida's original vow. Those of you who put your trust in the Nenbutsu, even if you thoroughly study the teaching that Shakyamuni taught during his lifetime, you should become like an later ignorant one or untrained devotee and not show any pretense of a learned person, but intently practice the Nenbutsu. I hereby seal this document with the imprint of both my hands. The peaceful mind and practice of Jodo Shu are fully imparted here on this one sheet. I, Genku, have no other teaching than this. To prevent any misinterpretations after my passing away, I make this final testament. Transcribed on the 23rd day of the first month of Kenryaku second, 1212. Page 24, Shoyakumon.
Homyo Kenjo Jippo Sekai Nenbutsu Jose Shu Fushan.
The infinite light of Amida Buddha illuminates the 10 directions of the world, and all who call upon his name shall be received and never abandoned.
Namu Amida, Namu Namu Amida, Namu Amida, Namu Amida, Namu Amida,
Egan, merit transference for the deceased. Dedicating merit through the chanting of sutra passages and the calling of Amida Buddha's name is an important practice in Jodo Shu. This is a time to offer our prayers to our ancestors and beloved ones, as well as to remember them with gratitude for all they have done for us. May we aspire to live fruitful, peaceful lives while sending our thoughts to those who are not with us in this world. Let us now offer our prayers so that our beloved ones be released from suffering and be born into Amida Buddha's pure land of ultimate bliss. Namu Amida. Namu Amida. Page 26, Soeko-ge.
願にしくどく世のせい一切道法中菩提心往生安楽国
We aspire for these merits and virtues to be equally bestowed upon all, and may we together develop the aspiration for enlightenment to achieve birth in the pure land of peace and bliss. Junen.
Namu Amida Bu, 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 Namu Amida, Namu Amida Bu, Tsu Namu Amida Bu.
Aloha, thank you very much for joining in our Jodo Shu daily service today. I want to explain about prayer beads called Juzu in Japanese. And the reason why was recently I was asked, I was using this, the bigger Juzu called 108 Juzu. It's 108 beads Juzu. And then I was asked where, I can get this kind of juzu, because now this Jodo Shu, we actually 2 rings, double ring juzu is a very general, but you can, I see, Amazon has this Jodo Shu juzu on sale. So it was $38 yesterday, Amazon.com. So you can get, this Jodo Shu juzu, and also we have some Jodo Shu temple, and some temples have juzu to sell, like our Honolulu Jodo Shu. And then, so you can get this juzu, but the question was how you can get this bigger juzu, 108 juzu. And another question is that, is this Jodo Shu juzu? And that was, I think, very good question, because internet, you cannot see this kind of selling, right? Jodo Shu juzu. And first, we Jodo Shu use 4 different juzu, 4 different juzu. And this double ring juzu is very common. It's called Nikka juzu, Nikka juzu. And Nikka is actually daily assignment. Daily assignment indicates that to count numbers. And we actually preach how many times, if you are Jodo Shu member, you're supposed to preach how many times you Nenbutsu recite daily, right? So we actually called, this is daily assignment juzu called Nikka juzu. So Nichi is actually means day or daily, and ka is actually assignment. So this juzu, why this double ring is actually to count numbers of Nenbutsu, and this is actually assignment. It's a preach for Jodo Shu followers. And then we have actually this juzu it's called Shogun juzu. It's actually for ceremonial juzu. And ceremonial juzu is actually for the priest, for the minister to use at the time of special services like New Year Day service, Obon service, and Ojuya service, and Ohigan service. So for ceremonial purpose, we actually use this juzu. And so this one, it's not, you cannot get it because it's not sold online. So so we actually, Buddhist item, there are many Buddhist item stores in Japan, but most of them continue to do the traditional way, which is not online. They don't show any item on the internet, but they actually distribute catalog or menus to each temple. And so the minister actually saw the catalog and actually catalog order. And that's the way, traditional way. So this kind of Buddhist items are not appeared on the internet because the usage is actually not everyone use this one. So we need qualification like ordination or qualification to be a kyoshi minister, teacher. So that's why we cannot sell this kind of to everybody. So the Buddhist item stores called Butsugu-ten actually send their catalog. So there are several, Buddhist item stores called Butsugu-ten in Japan. And so they actually, the ministers look, the catalog, and then they order to the store. So that's a way of traditional. However, because now, of some modern technology, little by little, you can see the items on the internet, and especially Amazon and also eBay is actually second, handed items, so you can get it. But more and more, little by little, you can see. However, the basic is that not all items are sold for everybody. In general purpose, for specific ordination, for the specific person, we actually use this kind. So this is actually we call Shogun Juzu. So Shogun is actually majestic or solemn. So this is actually when we have a very special service, we wear this. And also for the funeral, we actually use this. But that's not for lay persons. This is for the minister to use. It's called Shogun Juzu. And then this one, Jodo Shu 108 Juzu. So there are actually 108 beads. But if you can count, the beads is actually 109. And actually more than 108 because this we call the big beads, the biggest beads is called Oyadama. Oya is a parent and Dama is a beads. So this Oyadama is actually not counted. So there are extra beads. And also according to this case, it's a child Dama or Fukudama is actually beads is actually not counted, so there are actually more than 108, but we call this juzu as 108 juzu, 108 juzu. And then this is number 3, right? And then number 4 juzu, we have a bigger juzu, 1080 beads. That's called 100,000 juzu. So if you are, temple member, you maybe, experience one time you hold, everybody, maybe 20 or 30 people together holding, the bigger beads, and everybody say Nenbutsu. And because we chant Nenbutsu together with several people, one time Nenbutsu can be 20 times Nenbutsu. So we can achieve 1 million times of recitation of Nenbutsu easily if we use a bigger beads with many people. And the more numbers, the more actually easier to achieve 1 million times Nenbutsu. So this temple doesn't have this 100,000 juzu, but it's called 100,000, 1 million times juzu, the prayer beads. And the big temple like Jodo Mission of Hawaii and Kappa Jodo Mission, I've seen it. We have 100,000 juzu. So at the time of special occasion, we actually use. So that's a number 4 juzu. And then also, it's not official, but we do have we call udewa juzu. It's like a bracelet, right? So this is called bracelet. We have time. It's called udewa juzu. Ude is an arm, and wa is an actual ring. So this one, udewa juzu. And the juzu is actually originally Brahmanism used to use juzu, and it's originally called Japamala. Japa is actually chanting with lower voice. So japa is a chanting with lower voice, and mala is actually flower wreath. So Japamala is actually for chanting with lower voice, and then this is like a flower wreath. So this is original meaning of Japamala, and this is very old Buddhist item. And then at the time of when Buddhism was imported to Japan, about 6th century, 538, one of the opinions, it was already, Juzu was also together with Buddhism came to Japan. So this is one of the oldest Buddhist items. And Japanese, use Chinese translation as Juzu or Nenju. And Juzu is actually, used to be called Zuzu, Zuzu. And now we call it Juzu, but it used to be called Juzu. And Juzu means counting. So Ju is actually numbers. And Zu is actually the beads. So number beads are actually what Juzu literally means. And then we sometimes call Nenju, and Nen is actually, according to Jodo Shu, Nen is to chant, vocalization, utterance of, saying Namu Amida Butsu is Nen. But originally, contemplation is what Nen is. So every time we contemplate Buddha, we actually count. So that's why Juzu is called Nenju. It's a contemplation beads. But of course, Jodo Shu is to count, to chant Namu Amida Butsu with vocalization. So vocalization of Namu Amida Butsu is Nenju, is actually chanting beads. So this is the way how we call Juzu. And interestingly, in Catholic, in Christianity, has similar items that's called rosary or rosario, right? Rosary. And the rosary is actually came from rosarium, and then rose actually it means rose crown. Yeah, rosary is rose crown. And then why rose is actually very one of the this is not definite opinion, but it's actually one of the opinions that japa is actually means chanting with lower voice. But we have also a word, japa. So japa is actually means rose. And so japa rose is actually very similar. Just the same word, but actually long vowel, japa. So japa mala means that rose wreath, rose ring. So that's why it is one of the opinions that the Buddhist Brahmanism, japa mala was actually went to Christianity, and they called rosario or rosary, right? Rosary. And then rose crown was actually from japa, the word japa. So this is one of the opinion. And so juzu, the purpose of this juzu or rosary is to count contemplation, to be mindful of chanting, Nenbutsu, and to be contemplation of Buddha, to chant Buddha name, Namu Amida Butsu. So counting is the purpose. And Buddhism, when came to Japan in 538 and the 6th century, and then this juzu was spread. But at the time of Honen Shonin, juzu was spread more, so all over Japan. And because Nenbutsu, that Honen Shonin encouraged everyone to use juzu when you chant Namu Amida Butsu. And then at that time, I was supposed to talk about history of mokugyo or udon block, udon fish, but sorry, I'm not ready. I'm still going on the working for the PowerPoint presentation, but I'm later hopefully coming the history of mokugyo. And at that time, one of the questions that at the time of Honen Shonin, mokugyo was not common. Actually, mokugyo was not there in Japan. So when you chant Nenbutsu in Kamakura period, they don't use mokugyo. They don't hit. And probably they might hit, with gong, because Kuya Shonin is actually the first Nenbutsu practitioner. He traveled Japan and actually chanted Namu Amida Butsu and started dance, Nenbutsu with dance. And the statue of Kuya Shonin was actually made, Kamakura period. And he holds a gong or ring, over here. So probably when he chant Nenbutsu, he used a gong, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, right? So it was not mokugyo, but gong is actually can be used. But Honen Shonin says that when you recite Namu Amida Butsu, do I have to wear juzu or prayer beads? And Honen Shonin answers that you have to wear juzu. And the reason why is that I think chanting Namu Amida Butsu, reciting Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu is actually repeating those very simple words, right? So it is something you feel like you don't go forward. You just, step and you walk, staying over here. So you don't go travel. So that's why actually, no matter how spend time and the more time you spend, actually you feel very frustrated because you walk, right? So that's why to count Namu Amida Butsu is, I think, very important. By counting number of Nenbutsu, you actually can go forward. At least you can count and then you know the progress of numbers going on. So that means that you can go on. But if you don't use anything to say Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, and you just stay over here and you don't go forward, so that's why sometimes Namu Amida Butsu, it's very hard to continue without using anything. You don't use juzu, you don't use mokugyo, you don't use gong, sho. Then we actually just like walking, stepping over here, but we don't walk, we don't go forward. So whatever you do, we have actually destination. We have a goal to do. And in order to achieve a goal, in order to get to the destination, we need to go forward, right? Everything, whatever project, you make a goal, and then whether it's a long-term goal or short-term goal, we have a destination. Then we can go forward. Even though a little step by step, but you can, by moving forward, you can go forward. You can get closer to the goal. However, Namu Amida Butsu, you don't use anything. You don't know whether you are going forward or, So that's why to counting Namu Amida Butsu is actually easier for, And if you are very professional meditation, you probably can do without using anything. You can, but not everybody can easy to do. So this using Juzu to count Namu Amida Butsu is much actually easier. So that's why Honen Shonin said that you have to wear Juzu. And this means that at that time, the prayer beads was very common in Japan, all over Japan. And so that's why counting Namu Amida Butsu is actually very easier for us to be mindful of Nenbutsu. And so this actually Nikka Juzu, double rings. And double ring Juzu, actually we have two types of Juzu. And this is actually for counting actually 30,000 of Nenbutsu. And this we have also same Nikka Juzu, same double ring, but however this is for counting 60,000 of Nenbutsu. And so actually Nikka-ju has also two types, Jodo Shu has two types of Nikka-ju. One is to counting for 30,000 and one is counting for 60,000. And how we can use, and then bees, number of bees actually very different. And actually, I was born in a Buddhist temple, and then I grew up with, seeing my father, parents doing the Nenbutsu all the time. And so in the kind of growing, environment, I naturally see and I followed, the Buddhist path very naturally so I'm now 49 years old, so over 40, close to 49 years old, I was in a Buddhist environment, tradition. And so I naturally do, but I actually, today I realize that, oh my goodness, I never experienced to count 30,000 times of Nenbutsu. This Nenbutsu is to count for 30,000 times of Nenbutsu. So if you are using, you can actually count 32,400 times you can actually count Juzu. However, I realized that, oh my goodness, I never experienced by using Juzu counting 32,400 times of Nenbutsu. And then this one is for 60,000. 60,000. You can count this with this Nenbutsu. You can count 60,000 times of Nenbutsu. And to be exact, 64,800 times of Nenbutsu you can count. But of course, I never experienced. So that's why I didn't realize how to count, by using this Juzu. I naturally, count, but I realized that I got the wrong way. So I returned to the very basic. So sometimes from time to time, once you actually get it, you don't return and do the very basic, because holding Juzu is the very first step for Buddhists, right? And I did naturally, and when I actually went to the Buddhist temple for practice, training, under training, I had another chance to learn from the very beginning, from step by step, So, but now, over, I think, close to 30 years passed since I was ordained. since I was taught in 30%, so I actually don't look back, the very basic, but I realized that, I never use this juzu to count 30,000 times of Nenbutsu. Also, maybe for my next project, I should count this with using juzu to count 30,000. And experience is actually so much different. What you just hear, what you just listen, what you just see. If you experience, you totally get it, understand it. But if you can just hearing, and if you just listening, if you just seeing, you cannot totally experience of counting juzu. So I actually realized that, as an experience, I never counted 30,000 times of Nenbutsu. That's why I actually mixed up, how to count Namu Amida Butsu, but correctly. So this actually, Jodo Shu homepage, website has the proper way of how to count Namu Amida Butsu. So this 30,000 Nenbutsu, Sanmanben Juzu, is actually, one is actually, we have 20, so 20 beads. And another one is actually 27 beads. And this bigger juzu is called Oyadama, is a parent beads. And this regular beads is called Shudama or Omodama. And then also, other side of ring has very smaller, smaller beads. It's called Fukudama. And I explained why these smaller beads are there. And then we have part is called Deshi. Deshi is actually a disciple. And so this is called Deshidama. So Deshidama. And Deshi is also written as recording child. So this is actually to count and to record. You did one round, so that's why we call it Deshidama or recording child. So this is 20 times, and this is actually 27 times. Then we have 10 Deshidama, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means that 20 times, 27 times, and 10 times, and 6 times equal 32,400. 32,400. That is how we can, using this Nenbutsu, you can count up to 32,400 times of Nenbutsu. Okay, the Juzu, I said that Oyadama, every Juzu has Oyadama, it's a bigger Juzu. And so when you hold Juzu, you put Oyadama together, and you hang on the thumb, between thumb and pointing finger. So I actually don't do, to make sure, when we have time, we actually do, Oyadama, to bigger beads together, put together, and to place between thumb and pointing finger. So this is a very mindful way that gassho with Jodo Shu Juzu. So once again, when you gassho, you put Oyadama together and place between thumb and pointing finger. So this is the way when you gassho with using Jodo Shu Juzu. And then when you don't use Juzu, when you hit the Mokugyo, or when you hit the Fusegane or Sho, you actually can hold on the left wrist over here, on the left side. And then when you hold Juzu with gassho, so next time from now on, I have to be very careful to make sure when you have time to Oyadama together to do the Nenbutsu, to gassho. So this is a proper way of gassho using pesho. Then how you count, juzu is first. This is 20 times, 20 beats, one, without counting this oyadama. So you don't need to count. So if you count, this means 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Sorry. So this one, 27 is actually no fukudama, no smaller beads. And this is actually with smaller beads. So this one 40, no 20. Sorry, I mixed up numbers. So this one 27, and this one 20 times, 20 beads. So you hold, without fukudama one, with thumb and pointing finger. And then you hold with pointing finger and middle finger. You actually put like this. So starting from oyadama, you have more numbers of juzu over here, 27 times beads over here, with hold oyadama, the bigger beads, with pointing finger and thumb, and then with pointing finger and middle finger, you hold this. So this is how we hold when you count Namu Amida Butsu. When you count Namu Amida Butsu. So one time Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Bu, Namu Amida. So you stay over here. So actually you hold this until you make one round. Namu Amida Bu, 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 Namu Amida Bu. So you made one round. That means that you counted 27, right? 27. Then you make one. And then another round. Then you make one. And then another round, and you make one. And as you see it, this, smaller beads, very helpful when you move with pointing finger and middle finger, just to, you can just move, little by little, right? So one round and then one round and then one round, then one round, then one round, then one round, then. So if you make everything, and so that means that 27 times 20 number, then you can put this deshi, deshi juzu, deshi dama, you put one up. And then you do one more time, 27 times and 20, then you make one. And then you do 27 times 20, then you make one. And if you finish all 10 up, then now you can use this 6, small numbers of deshi juzu. So this way we can count 32,400 times of Nenbutsu. So because I actually never counted 32,400 times of Nenbutsu. So that's why actually I never experienced. But as a next project, I do using this to count so that I experience and I know I can experience and totally know how to use Juzu. Then I said there are 60,000, 60,000 times of Nenbutsu. So this beads, one is 40 and another one is 27. So 27 and 40, I think. Yeah, 40. So let me count. Otherwise, I mixed up again. So for sure to count, because by counting this exactly, you experience, but without counting, So when you get the Jodo Shu Juzu, the first thing maybe to count to know how many Juzu. Otherwise, I keep mixing up because I seldom count. But let me count this for 60,000 times of Nenbutsu. Another, confusion is because me, Japanese, to count Japanese words is easier. But if I count, using English, I actually mix up. So let me count in Japanese. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So this is the one. 40 beads. And then this is supposed to be 27. Okay, let me count. And 27 except smaller beads. So smaller beads, why smaller beads is actually inside is because you can easily move beads if you get this smaller beads with 2 fingers. Pointing finger and middle finger, you can easily move if there is a smaller beads. So that's why you press with pointing finger and middle finger, you hold like this. Then the main counter is actually this one, 40 numbers, 40 beads. So 40 times, 27 times, and so this Deshidama is actually same with 30,000. So 10 times and 6 times. That make 64,800 times. 64,800 times of Nenbutsu you can count. So once again, you hold Oyadama with thumb and pointing finger. So this way you count. So this is actually easy with thumb and pointing finger, right? And then you hold pointing finger and middle finger. So this is 40 times and this is 27 times. So if you 40 times Nenbutsu, you can move this one. And then another 40 times of Nenbutsu, you move forward this one. And then you make 40 times Nenbutsu, you move this one. And then you everything, 27 times, one round. Then you can put Deshidama, press 1, Deshidama 1. So by using this Juzu, this is for 60,000 times of Nenbutsu. So even Nikka Juzu, we have 2 different types. One is 20 times, so 20 times 27. That's for 30,000. And this is 40 times beads and 27 beads. That's for 60,000 times of Juzu. So anyway, this is when the Honen Shonin was there. This was the way how Honen. So Honen Shonin probably used. So the Honen Shonin's portrait, Honen Shonin always carries this 100-day juzu. So this is for 100-day times, and then using this deshi, deshi dama, and precising how he counted, but this Jodo Shu double ring was created by Awanosuke, who was onmyoji, and then it was developed today's figure. So also, it's not necessary to stick the numbers, but we need, like we said, that daily assignment, we need to have a kind of goal, every day, so that we can go forward. And then sometimes I felt, or I need experience, 30,000 times Nenbutsu with just using Nenbutsu. So maybe in the future, as a future project, I want to chant with using this 30,000 Nenbutsu, with just using Juzu. And because you can count, it's actually easier that you feel you are going forward. And this is actually for us, it may be easier. So anyway, thank you very much for listening to the Dharma talk. So benediction, please. Page 10, benediction. Amida Buddha surrounds all men and all forms of life with infinite love and compassion. Particularly does he send forth loving thoughts to those in suffering and sorrow, to those in doubt and ignorance, to those who are striving to attain truth, and to those whose feet are standing close to the great change called death. Amida Buddha sends forth oceans of wisdom, mercy, and love. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Okay, thank you very much for listening to the and then joining in the service. Please stay safe and please take care and have a very happy holidays. Thank you very much.